Welcome to the Community Difference Frisco. Powered by the Difference Media LLC. Hosted by Brian Poduska. And sponsored by Real Property Management Focus. Certainty Home Lending. Donovan Creative Agency. Stewart Title. The Frisco Fighters Arena Football Team. Total Care. PBJ Mortgage. And by Team Watson Redeemers. The Community Difference Frisco
was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals.
So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Frisco starts now.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the North Texas Community Difference Frisco show. You are watching episode 11. And this is a show that we basically put the spotlight on local business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders, nonprofit leaders, sporting leadership, Frisco ISD leadership. All of those folks are guests on our show and co-hosts on our show, and we have a rotating business topic every single month. Today, we're in February. This is week 2 for us. It's week 1 for most folks in the other different shows, community different shows. But our business topic of February is leveraging social media to increase brand awareness and customer engagement in a local setting. We have Paul Fisher and Chance Post as our co-hosts today. Lennon, go ahead and bring them on. Let's say hello. What's up, gentlemen? How are we doing today?
We're good, man. How are you?
Awesome.
I'm fantastic.
Glad to be here.
Have you guys back. I know we've kind of mixed up the co-hosts, and which is great because we get a little bit of new flavor and new interaction. So it's great to see both of you guys back on. Excited to have dive a little bit deeper into the topic of the month with social media and how that can build brand awareness, certainly on the local level here in the community of Frisco. And I know you guys have some awesome guests. We were talking backstage before the show. So excited to have them come on. And as a matter of fact, why don't we just bring them in, Lennon? Let's bring everybody on screen and say hello. Hey, Sine. Hi.
Hello.
How are we doing today, guys?
Great.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, excited to have you guys on. And thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking the time. Looking forward to diving into the topic of the month and more importantly, really learning about you guys, letting you share your journey with our audience, because I think that's really the one of the most important things that I get out of each of these shows. So I'm blessed to be able to host this on a weekly basis. So I get to meet a lot of different people, and I have a ton of different, great stories that I've heard. Look forward to hearing your guys' stories along the way here. But why don't we, before we jump in, why don't we just go around the horn and introduce ourselves? I'm going to let the co-hosts go first, and then they can introduce you guys as guests. And then you guys, I'd like you to go a little bit deeper, kind of at the surface level up front, and then we'll go a little bit deeper a little bit later on the show. Paul, let's start with you. You
Okay.
Go right ahead.
All right. Well, my name is Paul Fisher. I'm a residential mortgage lender with Certainty Home Lending. So we'll do, of course, your primary residential home with your second homes, vacation homes, or investment properties as well. Obviously licensed in the state of Texas, but multi-licensed from California to Florida. So if you want to move somewhere, get a second home, we can help you out there. And then I'm also an ambassador for the Frisco Chamber of Commerce. So we take care of ribbon cuttings and help support our new businesses as well. So always a good time in Frisco.
Nice.
Amen.
And I'm Chance Post. I'm with Total Care Emergency Room right there in Frisco at the corner of Lebanon and Preston. So hopefully you don't have to come see us because that means you're hurt. And it's a true emergency room, open 24/7. So it's just there if you need us. One of the things I do is a lot of networking and community. I'm kind of a boots on the ground guy. I'm a director of marketing, but I'm out and about all over town. And it's a great topic for me today because I'm always out in front of people, but it's also great to leverage that social media with what I'm doing out on the street.
Yeah, and I love that aspect about it, right? And we've talked about it in previous shows as well, but the overall business development strategy for a company, right, and for a business, certainly social media is part of it and a big part of it. But like what you said, Chance, and how we met, right, is in person.
Right.
And you are at pretty much everything. I don't know if you have clones of yourself, but it feels like you do because I see you everywhere. But yeah, that's a great point. With that, guys, why don't we introduce our guests? Just give a little lead in for them and let them roll with it. So, Paul, I'll let you go first. And
well, I'm excited to have Sine on today. So, Sine and I are part of the same Master Networks group, and she's got such a unique business. I mean, something that I well, I can't even match my socks, so I don't know how I would do with trying to do interior design and kind of have a feel for that with my own house. But Sanea's got a great story, and I'm not going to take up any more time, so I'm going to let her have it, and she can tell you all about the Turner Design Company.
Hey there. Yeah, so I officially launched December 1st, a lot sooner than what I was planning. I wasn't planning on launching until the first of the year, but all in all, I've been in the design industry for 25 years and have really not had the interest in doing full-blown design, but God had other plans, and you listen when he speaks. So I am now full-blown interior design, residential design, staging, and remodeling. I've also teamed up with a local contractor, so he's really teaching me a lot on the remodel side. But it's been fun. It has been fast and furious, and I wouldn't change it up till this point. But it's funny how life can take you in different directions. And one of the reasons I didn't want to get into design was of all the horror stories you hear. You always hear stories in your line of work of the bad things. You never hear the good things, and so that kind of steered me away from it. But I was blessed with a gift, and now I've got to use it. And I've really enjoyed it because one of my strengths is listening. I'm a really good listener. And with interior design, there's a lot of psychology that goes into it. You have to get to know the client. It's not just about making a beautiful home. It's about learning about each person who lives in that house, how they use it, what their life is like, everything that goes into it. So the psychology behind it is actually the fascinating part to me. And then seeing their reaction when you create and present the finished product.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love that approach. You need to listen and understand goals and personalities to fit. And that's true for most businesses, right? But certainly from a taste perspective on, interior design and whatnot. So I'm interested to hear, Sanea, how, you're incorporating the design and the remodeling and all that, because that's really interesting to me, coming from an investor, a real estate investment standpoint. So we can dive into that a little bit later.
And then,
all right, awesome. Chance,
yeah,
I'm gonna kick it over to you.
So let me tell you. So I really wanted to bring on Hunter today because I kind of see myself in him a little bit. He's everywhere, and I'm like, hey, we keep running into each other, and we've talked, and I thought, man, you've got to come on because I want, first of all, he's a little bit younger. So I'm saying, hey, let's get some young guys on and see what's new in their world. So that was one of the reasons. And I see him out networking, really working hard. So let's get him on here. So Hunter, I'll let you roll.
Thank you, Chance. So again, I'm Hunter. I'm a mortgage lender as well with American National Bank and Trust. I've been lending for just over a year now. I just celebrated 1 year with American National Bank and Trust. I came from a small bank up in North Texas, in Gainesville, and started whenever I was 18 as a teller and spent the whole time, with that one bank. And while I was at UNT, I had a real estate professor. She's actually an agent as well. Her name's Natalie Boyd, and she was a phenomenal professor and got me very interested in real estate. I knew I was going to be in banking in some way, form, or fashion, and she kind of guided me into the real estate side of it. And then I also got blessed with a wonderful boss whenever I was an assistant that made me love it even more. You hear stories about horrible experiences that people have with lenders, and I wanted to be a reason that people weren't terrified to go into the largest debt that they will probably ever be in.
That's great.
Well, so does that make you a millennial, Hunter? Are you officially a millennial?
Ooh, I try not to fall into any of the categories because, when it comes to computers and technology, I might as well be 80. I can barely get through my phone, and that's what's kind of, our topic today for social media. That's why it's kind of been a struggle for me to get into it. Like Chance said, I signed in the second that all this opened just to make sure that all my stuff was in order. So try not to fall into any of the categories, but yes.
Brian, I'm still trying to figure out if I should take offense at Chance bringing young blood on here.
Yeah.
Like you and I are like, need a walking cane or something.
Yeah, I mean, some days I feel that way, but I don't know. Not most days, not yet anyway.
I mean, I'm not sitting in a wheelchair or anything, Chance.
Yeah, well, it's always good to get new blood. That's one of our co-hosts, Ethan Donovan, is about as young as you can get and be on the show. So, he's 18 years old. So you've got him beat. I can tell that.
Wow.
But it's always good to get, different generations' perspectives. So we welcome that, even if you may not fit the stereotypical millennial or Gen Zer. But all right, cool. Well, hey, guys, like I said, awesome to have you guys on the show. Thanks for sharing a bit about yourselves. Like I said, we're gonna dive a little bit deeper here later in the show to understand, how you got to where you're at. Hunter, it sounds like you kind of started from the bottom. Now you're here, right?
Yes, sir.
Which is kind of a cool story. I like that. Right now, we're going to give our sponsors a little bit of love. And on the back side of that, we're going to come in and talk about what's up in Frisco. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
The Community Difference Frisco is made possible by Brian Poduska, owner of Real Property Management Focus. Paul Fisher, loan officer with Certainty Home Lending. Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers. Kendra Kennedy with Stewart Title. Ethan Donovan with Donovan Creative Agency. Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage. Chance Post with Total Care ER and Total Care Networking. Matt England, Director of Corporate Partnerships, and Andre Coles, Head Coach of the Frisco Fighters Arena Football Team. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up Frisco?
Awesome. There's our sounder. It's go time. What's up, Frisco? And what's up, Ethan? Ethan Donovan, we were just talking about you. So, I think you're still the youngest one, so you still have that prize.
He'll probably be the youngest one for a while. I don't say.
Yeah,
He's got me by a few years.
Yeah, he's gonna hold that one for a while. So that's pretty awesome. But hey, I know we were talking before the show started. We've got a lot on the plate this week, so I'm gonna go with Paul first. Why don't you start us off, my man?
All right. Well, I'll run through this because I know Chance has something. So. Visual Arts Guild of Frisco is near and dear to my heart. I got a lot of friends in there. They're doing a Meet the Artist this Sunday at Frisco Dental Studio. So a lot of times what they do is they'll put up their all their artwork in around town at different businesses. And so this is a chance to meet the artist on Sunday. And then a quick shout out to Chef Nick. Dominic Parks is doing his ribbon cutting for the city of Frisco. I think it's a sold out event. They've got like 1,200 people. So that will be a record ribbon cutting event. And then lastly, part of the Frisco Chamber is WEB. It's the Women Enhancing Business. They're doing their Galentine's Gala on luncheon on the 15th. You can just go to the website. But Carrie Ermits with Lone Star Roots is chair of that. She's also a ambassador for Frisco. And last but not least, my good friend Donna Schmittler with the Frisco Heritage Foundation. They're extending their cookbook. So they still need entries. I think they're extending it through February. So all that can be found on either Facebook or their websites.
And I've got two events. One is sponsored by the Community Difference, and it's our Texas Legends networking event with Total Networking. It's at the 28th. It's at the Comerica on the Party Plaza. We had about 120 people last time. Really good event. Paul's also Certainty's also a sponsor, so I'll be giving a lot of love out to the sponsors. But that's the end of the month on the 28th, right before the Legends game. So good family event, and really what people don't understand is it's free food. I mean, it's about a $60 ticket that you're getting for free, so it's a good event. And then I wanted to give one more shout out. I know a lot of us are familiar with Treasured Vessels. I just got an email that they're having a Tups Brewery concert on April 12th. So we got some time before that, but I wanted to kind of throw that out there. They do a lot of good work in the sex trafficking kind of ugly thing that goes on that we don't talk a lot about, but they do a really good job. They've really grown their nonprofit over the last 4 or 5 years. Pretty amazing the stuff they're doing. So I almost really want to have them on just to learn about how they've really done a great job of growing. It's pretty impressive what they've accomplished. So
yeah, and Chance, I'm glad you brought that up because Treasured Vessels has been on our show in the past. A slightly different format, but they're a fantastic organization. We had I can remember the episode where it brought me to tears, some of the stories that they were telling. So amazing organization. They have a very special piano out in their facility that we've talked about in previous shows as well. So any love that we can bring them, would love to have them on the show again because they've come a long way in a few years, and there's not a more serious topic than that to talk about. So would love to have them on again in the show. I also shifting gears a little bit. I also have an event to mention. We've mentioned it in the past, but it's the Miss Frisco Texas Scholarship Pageant. So that's going to happen. Let me pull it up real quick here. It is February 17th on Saturday, February 17th. So a week from this coming Saturday. It's at 6:30 p.m. at Verona Villa. If you search up Miss Frisco Scholarship Pageant on social media, there's links there through Eventbrite to buy tickets. All the proceeds go to the Young Women's Scholarship Fund that they're raising funds for women 18 through 25, I believe it is. So definitely check that out. It's at Verona Villa, right off of the tollway here in Frisco. Anybody else have anything else they want to bring up?
I have one. Next week on Tuesday, there's a wonderful fellowship power lunch at let's see, it's at Crest Infinity in Frisco, put on by Lisa K. Gurney. I've been to a couple of their lunches, and they're phenomenal. The guest speakers are always great, and they really make you think a little and pull on the heartstrings some, but those are always great events to be at.
Awesome. Well, love that. That's a great addition. We now have it out there, and I'm putting it on my calendar. That's great. Yeah. I also do want to give a little bit of love to one of our co-hosts, head coach of the Frisco Fighters, Coach Andre Coles. Their season is starting March 22nd. They play their home games right here in Frisco at the Comerica Center. So go ahead and mark that down on your calendars. I believe they play weekly. Yes, they do. Just like the NFL, half of them are home games, half of them are away. So jump on their website, check out when they have home games. They're very interactive, very family friendly, very affordable. And it's pro football when we don't have the NFL. So let's check it out and give them some love. We do have ticket giveaways coming up later in the as the season approaches as well. So and you'll see Coach Andre Coles here in the upcoming weeks. Anybody else have anything else? Going once, going twice?
I think that's enough for February. Gracious.
I mean, it's cold out, and we still got all kinds of events, so that's pretty awesome. All right, cool. Well, thanks, guys, for sharing those events. Look forward to attending some of those and getting a lot of love. Certainly to Chef Nick today. That'll be a big, well-attended event as well. So look forward to that. All right, with that, I want to transition and get a little bit deeper into our guests. Right, I want to give you guys the opportunity to really just share your story. How did you get to where you're at? I know, Sine, you said you started sooner than you wanted to. I'm curious to hear exactly what pushed you over the edge and jumped into the abyss. And just like any other business, right? it's a very it can be intimidating. So to hear that you launched earlier than normal, usually it's the other way around. But why don't you tell us how you got to where you're at, and what drove you to start Turner Design Company?
Yeah. So, well, 25 years ago was when I jumped into the industry, or kind of fell into the industry. I'd started working at the World Trade Center downtown Dallas, and was in and out of that building working for different manufacturers and different showrooms, and really just gaining valuable experience in the home furnishings industry, which is actually quite beneficial now, because if I order a sofa for someone, I have a full understanding of the entire process from concept to completion, and how it gets to their home. So that if there's a delay or if there's a problem, I can knowledgeably explain to them what the issue is and why there's a delay. But yeah, 25 years in the industry and working with hundreds of designers one-on-one, is proven experience, and valuable experience, more so than sitting in any classroom and taking any test to get the degree. So it just kind of happened. I developed a niche for it, and realized the talent for it. And last year, 2023, was given the opportunity to work with another designer. She brought me on to pick up her design jobs because she didn't have time for them. She was busy with remodels. She was also a general contractor, so she didn't have time for design jobs. And she brought me in, and I took the bull by the horns, and I said, absolutely, I'll do it. Her business slowed down. She had to let me go. So then I took on another little job just for income, with the intention of launching my own business. And, at that time I thought, okay, 2024, maybe I'll dip my toe in the water and see how it goes. Well, December 1st rolled around, and all the little odd jobs I'd picked up came to a screeching halt. And God said, okay, you're doing this, whether you're ready or not. Get ready, hang on tight, because here we go. And I will say, thanks to Master Networks, it has blown up a lot faster than I even expected. The referrals that I've gotten, the encouragement that I've gotten, and just the guidance from everyone there has been amazing. Not to mention the guidance from other people in my life who have helped me navigate this and find the courage. I mean, let's be honest, launching a business, opening your own business takes courage. So that has helped a lot. But it's been good. It's always a learning process. You fall forward, right? We have to fail, we have to fall, but we have to pick ourselves up and keep going. And that's what I'm doing.
I was gonna ask you. I mean, because we've talked about this before, with our group, about. Because I told you the other day, it's like, you've got a really good social media presence. You're like, I really don't think I do. But what are you seeing from, like, even your networking group or your friends or things like that? I mean, are they sharing your page or their posts? I mean, how are you seeing, like, shares from other people, I guess, translate into, the phone ringing for you?
Yeah. So I'm getting a lot of shares through the networking groups, more so. And interestingly enough, I'm not seeing all of them, but that's okay, because just 2 weeks ago, I had a contractor I'd never met reach out to me through Facebook Messenger, wanting to see if I'd be interested in taking on a design job with him. So I called him, and turns out these clients of his, or existing clients, decided to go through Home Depot to remodel their kitchen. It ended up being a disaster and a complete mess. So now I have teamed up with this brand new contractor to completely remodel this client's kitchen. And I'm actually meeting with them today to present the design ideas. So I'm really excited about that. And it was very shocking and exciting at the same time to get that just random Facebook message. But talking about my posts on Facebook, it all kind of started when I went to a social media training seminar, if you will, just to learn more about how it works, because it's more complex than I think people realize with the algorithms and all the tips and tricks. So what I learned is if I post at least once a week and just kind of get a cycle going, a rhythm going, it takes, I think, 7 shares or 7 views for someone to remember you. So I started kind of upping the ante and posting anywhere from 2 to 4 times a week just to keep people interested. And I post any kind of design tip imaginable, or, from how high to hang a picture to what size rug to select for the space. I've even posted a few times about feng shui. A lot of people are very into feng shui, and it's fascinating. So I'll do little tips and tricks like that. And the response that I'm getting back is unimaginable. I didn't think people would find it that interesting, but they really are. It's surprising. So I've been excited to just kind of, you go to your feed, you check your comments, and it's like Christmas presents all over again every time you check the comments. So
that's what I was telling you, because you posted something about either couches or rugs or something, but I always look for yours because it's I just find it like an interesting tip. Like, I never really thought about that. Yeah. Or like because you shared it the other day about hanging pictures on the fireplace.
Yes. Yeah, that was a feng shui tip. So a little feng shui one-on-one, it says, don't ever put family pictures above the fireplace because it signifies burning your family. It's a little strong, but feng shui is a really fascinating concept. So yeah, there's always things like that. I try to make the post sometimes a little quirky or a little funny, or some level of interest instead of just a typical standard, do this and don't do this. That way people truly learn, but it piques their interest to hopefully reach out to me for true help.
Well, yeah, but go ahead, Brian.
Well, I've got to ask a question, and maybe you've answered it in some of your posts. I'm going to have to go back and look, but it's a very simple question. Is gray dead?
It's phasing out, but it's not dead. It has tapered off quite a bit, but it's still there. It's still there. Actually, what's starting to gain speed is greens, lots of shades of greens, specifically like the artichoke green, but different shades of greens. Blues are still in. Black is still pretty strong as an accent. But yeah, grays, it's slowly, it's gotten quieter, but it's not dead.
I know. I never can figure out who decides all that. Is it just?
It's the there's a society. I hate to say a society, but there's a group basically in New York that determines the color of the year. And so anything from fashion to home design to everything in the industry that relates to color is built off of that color of the year. And every year there's a new color.
And I'm sure Sherwin-Williams and and all
the paint companies are in on it.
Oh yeah. In fact, every year Sherwin-Williams hosts a continuing education luncheon at the World Trade Center, where they present not just the color of the year, but their new concept colors to coordinate with the color of the year. So that's always a lot of fun.
Wow. Awesome.
Well, hey guys, I got to go for a second. I got to go move some photos and some pictures around.
Go ahead and start repainting to more of it.
Yeah.
Is your dog burning chance?
Yeah.
I've got a few people I need to put over above the fireplace here.
Swap them out.
Oh, just don't say their name.
I hope they're not watching.
Yeah.
They're like, where do I fit in your life? Right.
Yeah. There's feng shui is really fun. There's some interesting ones that kind of make you giggle. Another one that I've always thought was funny was more so at home, but it says to close the lid before you flush because it washes your energy down.
All right.
So there you go. You'll make your wives happy by closing the lid. There's that.
Yeah.
So what about the crystals? I always saw, I think I had a family member that was hanging the crystals all over.
I don't know about
clearing off some bad spirits.
Maybe that's voodoo witchcraft. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to stay away from those crystal folk.
Yeah.
That may be a different society that we're
I
talking
know.
about.
No, we don't do that.
Chance, what are you into when we don't see you everywhere in town?
Right. I'm dealing with the crystals. Yeah.
Sometimes they've got TMI on the show, so we'll move on to a different topic. No, Hunter, I want to get into your story a little bit. You touched on it a little bit up front, but it sounds like you went to UNT. You started at the bank as a teller, which is awesome. So you moved on to bigger and better things within the bank. So that's pretty awesome. What we got to do first, though, we take a real quick break, and then let's dive a little bit further into what inspired you.
Sounds great.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
JP Direct Health offers affordable health insurance solutions for individuals, families, and small businesses specializing in custom coverages to fit your needs and budget. JP Direct Health offers comprehensive benefits, including PPO health plans, accident and critical illness coverage, dental and vision, health matching accounts, along with telehealth at no cost per call. Call JP Direct Health today to learn more about how we can help you protect your health and your budget.
Do you want your home or office to sparkle? Then call Elite Diamond Cleaning today. From basic cleaning to deep cleaning, and using only the highest quality cleaning products and equipment, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Our team of experienced cleaners will work quickly and efficiently to clean every nook and cranny, taking care of all the details so you don't have to. With a variety of pricing options to fit any budget, you can be sure that you are getting the best possible price. Call Elite Diamond Cleaning today at 214-300-9876 to schedule a free estimate. Your home and office is a diamond. Let us get it out of the dust.
The Frisco Fighters prepare to reach new heights at Comerica Center this spring. From competitive matchups to exciting theme nights, you won't want to miss a second of the action. Join us and experience high-scoring, hard-hitting indoor football that's fun for the whole family to enjoy. Visit FriscoFighters.com for game highlights, tickets, or to reserve your spot at the Tarmac Tailgate Party. Frisco Fighters, fly with us.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 817-308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111. Are you a business owner looking to grow your company? Get fast, easy financing up to $5 million with no minimum FICO score required. Apply in 60 seconds and get funded in 24 hours. Call Jim Thomas at 214-629-7223 to talk to a financing professional today. Your business's future is waiting. So don't delay. Call now and tell him that you saw him on The Difference.
And now back to the show.
All right, welcome back, and thank you to all of our sponsors. You saw the Frisco Fighters in there. Looking forward to their season kicking off here shortly. As mentioned, we will have some ticket giveaways, so stay tuned for that in future episodes. But where we left off, Hunter, we were going to dive a little bit into, what inspired you to get into the mortgage business. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up, all that good stuff too. What's up with you, my man?
Absolutely. So I grew up in Lindsay, Texas, very small town. It's usually easier to tell people that I'm from Denton or Dallas, or sometimes even I just say I grew up by the WinStar, by the WinStar Casino. But yeah, so grew up in a small town. I graduated with 34 people. So everything was very small, especially compared to being in Frisco now, where there's more people in each apartment building than there is in my entire hometown. but started in a small community bank with a bunch of really great people. I was given the opportunity to learn a lot, work at a bunch of different branches, do a bunch of different things. But the lending side always caught my attention. So once I moved into, new accounts, customer support type role, I started talking to the loan officers a lot to just, pick their brain, ask questions, just different things like that. And then whenever I was in that real estate class at UNT, and I realized that that was something that had caught my attention and something I wanted to really dive into, I started talking with the mortgage officer that we had at my previous bank, and he was great as well. Probably one of the best I've ever seen at just being able to structure a deal or make something out of. We can't make something out of nothing in our business, but we can make something out of a little. And he was.
Yeah, we're not in 2008 anymore. So
right,
name, phone number.
There's a little bit more that goes into it now. But then at one point, I was gonna leave the bank and go sell property out at Lake Texoma, and the mortgage officer came to me and he was like, "Hey, I need an assistant." He had just set a record for his amount of closings. He had done like 256 loans in a 12-month span, and was starting to get a little flooded. And so they brought me on, and really it was going to be to return phone calls for him, because that was where he was starting to fall a little bit behind, was keeping up. And so they brought me on to do that. And he told me, first day, he said, "Hey, it's not really going to do me any good to teach you to, just return phone calls. I need to teach you what I do and how everything works so that you can be a legitimate help." And then a few months later, he had a heart attack and had a quadruple bypass and was out for 8 weeks. And the bosses called and said, "Hey, there's still work to be done. So if you have questions, give us a call, but there you go." And so I spent 2 months continuing to work the pipeline. I still wanted him to get a paycheck while he was gone, and still had deals to do. So I did that for 2 months while he was out, and everything went a lot more smooth than I had anticipated. So whenever he came back, he started giving me some more things to do, diving in deeper to some things. And not long after, he made a transition down to another bank. And I slowly but surely worked into the loan officer role after he left, and rates shot up, and we're touching eights, and business was a little difficult in the small area. So he called me and said, "Hey, would you like the opportunity to take on a new territory, learn some more things? We were limited to secondary market before, and now we can do everything." And so I took that opportunity, came on down here to, I live in the Colony now, came down to the Colony and was let loose. And so now I spend my time trying to meet people. We offer really great deals for people. And so, it's about who you know and what you can offer them. We've got what you can offer them taken care of. That's really great. But now it's time to do the meeting people part and helping people understand and gain trust and things like that. So that's been the work of the last several months, is really understanding what it takes to earn someone's trust. Because again, like I said earlier, it's, for a lot of people, it's the most debt they'll ever go into in their life. And so they want to feel comfortable and confident in what they're doing. And so that's what I'm doing now, is adapting to that in a much larger area.
Well, and it's an interesting time in the real estate market right now. We've got, most of us here on the show today are in the real estate space. So,
Right.
Interesting time to jump into it full speed for you. But you're exactly right. As far as, desperate times sometimes calls for desperate measures, but those that don't have the relationships, the long-term relationships, those are the ones that kind of fall off the table. And, the remainder are those folks that do have those long-term relationships. So at least you're thinking about it from the right perspective, as far as building those relationships, because those that don't have them, that refinance market dried up pretty quick. And
Right.
now it's the volume is down. So I won't beat that dead horse, but yeah, it's a unique market, we'll say. Hey, no better time to learn.
Well, I was going to break in real quick, and we'll get back to Hunter. But speaking of the type of market we have and social media, Sanaya's got to leave us early today because I think the client that she was talking about earlier, that they have a meeting to meet up with today. So I'm glad, Sanaya, you're awesome to have on, and I think all four of us, young and old, learned a lot today. So I can't wait to have you back on. Yeah, I mean, close the lid and don't burn your family. So,
yeah. Yes,
I'm really glad. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you on. You're amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on today. It's great to have you.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yep, and good luck with your client call.
Yep, close that deal.
Yep, awesome. Well, hey guys, like I said, we take this segment of the show is usually where we spend diving deeper into the monthly topic, and it is social media, and it is how to build that presence and brand awareness, self-brand awareness at the local level. You can see it scrolling there at the bottom of the screen. Just taking a gigantic step back, that is essentially what we're doing right now on the Community Difference. That's what this show is all about, right? It's a piece of it, right? It's not the only thing that you can use, but as the Community Difference show, whether it's Frisco or Denton or Wiley, we've got several of them currently in flight, and what we're doing is using this to help build our social media presence, help build our personal brand awareness, and certainly at the community level. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What are some of the other things that you guys are doing on the social media level, to take it to the next level? So whoever wants to jump in first, go right ahead.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of like, probably like you, Brian and Chance. I mean, I know, I don't know if Hunter's, I don't know if any of us have really, mastered the art of social media. I mean, there's a lot of people that I run around with in my groups that make it look incredibly easy and, post every day. And it's not always about business. Sometimes it is. I went to a lunch and learn with Wiley Master Networks, and they did one on social media, and they were like, just, post something. It doesn't always have to be about, you or, or mortgage or whatever. It can be just about, something, but you got to create that presence. And so that is something that I struggle with, is I always forget to take a picture of something. And then I'm like, gosh, I have no content and all that jazz. So, I mean, and algorithms, I barely passed algebra, so I can't even go through algorithms. So, but fortunately we've got, Lyndon with us that helps, keep us on track on how to, leverage either this show or, all that we do with that. So, I mean, I'm glad he's around because there's a lot I don't know.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'd be a complete novice if it wasn't for Lennon's help along the last 4 years that we've been doing the difference. And an example of that, right? So we have a networking group that was a former Master Networks group, but kind of split off, and we're doing our own thing now. But we brainstormed, what topics do we want to talk about? What topics do we want to dive deeper in? What topics? It's more of a roundtable type format. And, the idea was get a list of topics and then bring in subject matter experts, right? So one of the topics was exactly what we're talking about today. And that is utilizing social media and how to develop your personal brand through social media at the local level. So Lennon has come in not only once, but twice to talk to the group because, it's that meaty of a topic that we just flat out ran out of time in the first one. So, Lennon, why don't you join us in this conversation? Because, we've talked certainly over the last couple of weeks about, we're all in the service industry. We're all in real estate. Chance, not so much, but your business too can fall into this trap of commoditization, right? If you're not different, we're providing a service, whether it's, writing a mortgage or writing a contract on my side. Obviously there's different things that we offer from a service perspective, but the general society and consumer may look at us as a commodity. So Lennon, I'll let you kind of run with that, because I know you're all about how do you not become a commodity, right?
Right. And I think that a lot of people, when they're thinking about the word commodity, it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It just depends on what industry you're in and what battles you're what marketing battles you're having to fight. And so, Brian and Nathan, two of my original OGs, I'm always bouncing things off of them. And I had an epiphany the other day because I am reading this article about how you can be perceived as a commodity, even if you're not. And if that ever happens to you, then the biggest challenge you have is everybody that you start to pursue as a client. And number one, commodities typically pursue, they're not pursued because there's so many of them, right? And so you want to make sure that you're standing out, that you have a differentiator. And one of the things that we're looking at is that what is another name for commodity? It's interchangeable or the same. And I immediately messaged Brian and Nathan. I'm like, oh, so if it's the same and we're the difference, then we're helping people fight becoming a commodity. And so that's what you want to think about. You want to think about how you're being perceived. Right. And for so many of us, before we talk about branding or anything, we come up with the perception of who we are, and we forget that our market, if they know us at all, have a perception of who we are. And our job is to build the perception that we need to be portrayed in order for us to be successful. And, we had a guy that he had a show for a while, and his name was Brian Dobbs. I learned a lot from him. Brian knows him as well. And, I used to tell Brian, I said, he who controls the message controls the outcome.
Right.
If you don't believe me, just look at your mainstream media.
Right.
Right. They're doing it every day. And so, not to propagandize things that we're doing, but we want to be able to put out our best message. We want to remind people why we're special. And, we had the Wiley show this morning, and I reiterated what I said. What's the one thing that can't be imitated, duplicated, and replicated? And that's you. And so you want to put content out that lets people know you, like you, and trust you. That's going to be so critical. And, one of the things when people ask, Paul, you mentioned this before, I just don't know how to get all the content. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm coaching people, when I'm talking to them, I'm like, the first thing I ever learned to do is if you have a website with a FAQ page, frequently asked questions, there's your top topics for content. Because that is the most important thing to your audience right now, or that wouldn't be on your website. So you can go in and take that question. You can say, most of the people are asking this question about my business. Here's an answer. Boom, you're done. Right. You can do 12 of those in about probably an hour, maybe. All right. And then you can just put those on replay, because by the time you run through those in a month, 6 weeks, whatever it is, you're probably going to have a new audience that's built up, and they're going to be able to see that first one for the first time again. And I'll tell you guys something, one of the tricks that I have, and it's not really a trick, it's just you got to understand it, but I use a lot of AI. And the other day I was having a discussion with someone that I'm working with, and they're like, I just can't come up with content. So we're on a phone conversation. I put my phone on speaker and I lay it down. I go to his Facebook page. I go to his website. And while we're talking, and he doesn't know I'm doing this, while we're talking, I copy everything. I throw it into ChatGPT. And so I prompt ChatGPT to create 30 social media posts based on the website. And then I tell it to create 30 different social media posts about the guy I'm talking about, a personal post about me as a professional, whatever. And so it creates that. And then the final one is, I know that he's looking to build his team. He's trying to grow and get more people underneath him. And I said, now, based on all the information from my website and from my Facebook page, create 30 posts that would attract people that might want to be on my team. And so that was done in less than 10 minutes. He's still talking. He's still during 10 minutes. I'm at 10 minutes of excuses of why he can't do it.
Right.
And so I texted it to him, and I heard his phone go ding. And I said, hey, bud, you might want to look at your text messages. And so he opens it up while we're on the phone. He goes, holy crap, how'd you do that? And I said, we've just got to find the right people that can help us. All right. Sinead said one thing that I would give a little bit of pushback on. It's not as complicated as we make it. It's only complicated because we don't understand it. And this is something that I would encourage everybody. You don't have to become an expert on, but do go to lunch and learns, do go to classes, learn enough. Because if you don't learn enough, you're going to end up hiring somebody that probably doesn't know much more than you do, and you're not going to know the difference.
Lyndon, I gotta stop you for a second, because I did what you were talking about, and I saw an event that piqued my interest. And so I kind of went to AI and said, make an interesting post about this event I want to attend. If you look at my LinkedIn, I think in the first day, I think it was yesterday or this morning, but 200 views within a few minutes. And basically the post was like asking for engagement, say, hey, I'm gearing up for this event, XYZ. And then the engagement was like 20 times what I normally would get. And of course I tagged the show and so forth. But I was pretty shocked at how well that worked. And it took me 30 seconds. And why am I not doing that more? Because it was so easy. But I was like, I went back to LinkedIn.
It's that fear of, sometimes it's that fear of getting started. I mean, it's sometimes it's easier to think, Lyndon, like you're the guy that you were talking to. It's just easier to, not do it and fear that it might be, I don't know. I mean, because I have that on some things that it might, that I'm, a little scared to even, give it a try, because, I've tried everything else or whatever else like that. So you just got to.
I used to have the fear that if I asked a question, everybody's going to think I was dumb. And so the minute that I realized what Google and YouTube could be used for, I felt like I just became an overnight genius. I think I could have been a brain surgeon if they would have had that when I was in college, because I could have figured things out a lot better.
And
but you got to have an inquisitive mindset.
And I think it's one of the reasons, like when Hunter was talking about, that trust factor. And I always felt like when I'm talking to somebody, content's really important, and then Shanae kind of made the comment, like she's really getting a lot of followers from that great content. But one of the things I like to talk about when I come on is people get to hear my voice, kind of get my personality. And so people that kind of jive with me and my humor or whatever you see are kind of my people. And that's why I kind of think like it's not really, I always think there's enough to go around for everybody, that you can have, different realtors on, different real estate people on, because everybody is going to attract their own kind of customers. So I think for me, that's why video piece and streaming live is so important, that people kind of get to learn about you and your personality. And then they're going to resonate. That kind of resonates with people, and like, oh, that's my guy, or I don't really care for Chance or whatever, but that's a kind of
Did I say that out loud?
Right, people.
That's not a bad thing.
Right.
That's not a bad thing. Brian Dobbs, the guy I mentioned earlier, he used to teach a class about how your message is a frequency. It's at a frequency, and you're going to attract people that tune into that frequency, right?
Right.
The people that align with your core values and who you are as a person are going to be, they're going to be the people that you enjoy doing business with. And those people that don't like you, Chance, are going to be a pain in your butt. I promise you. I promise you. You can do business with them, but if you look at it and break it down, most of the time, the people we don't really align with are where most of our problems in our business come from. I'm not suggesting anybody shouldn't do business with them. I'm just saying that if I've got a choice and I've got business chasing me, I hope it's the people that are aligning with me. And that's usually when you're thinking about, am I chasing business or is business chasing me?
Right.
If you're chasing business, 9 times out of 10, you're chasing people that don't align with you. And if business is chasing you, it's because they do align with you.
Right. It's a good point. I mean, I love that.
Right. And like whenever, you're first getting started and, maybe you got to start with cold calls, and you sit there and over a month you cold call 600 people, and you get discouraged because maybe not a ton of them are working out. But then you get that one conversation that lasts, maybe it turns into a 25-minute conversation and you're not even talking about work anymore, but you just really enjoy talking to this person, and then that builds into something else. All those other no's don't really seem, or no answers, don't really seem that bad after that one really solid quality conversation that you feel like could take off into something else.
100%.
Yep.
Exactly.
Well, and I was thinking about this when you were talking, Lyndon, and talking about AI. I don't know if you recall this, but I recall it pretty distinctly when you first broke out the AI, machine on Nathan and I think it was about 9 months ago. I think we were sitting in Mexican Sugar having lunch and talking about some strategic things with the difference. And you broke out this manifesto that would have taken, I don't know, days probably to write if you wrote it all by hand. And, I don't know how many pages it was, but let's call it 20, right? And
yeah,
we didn't read through it obviously there at lunch, but it was take it home and take it home as homework. And it was a lot of the structural stuff ideas that spawned the community difference essentially. But Lennon was like, yeah, I whipped this up last night. And in my head, I'm thinking like, what the hell are you talking about? This is going to take you just didn't whip it up in one night. So then we got into the, ChatGPT helped with it, but it's crafted based on what you tell it and how you tell it. And you've taken that and now integrated it with, and you can integrate it, as you've just mentioned, with social media, and it generates authentic posts for you, right? And it does it in split seconds versus taking the time to have to think about it and verbalize it and then put it into a post and then post it. It makes it so much more efficient. So your point, Lennon, about creating content and making it efficient, it's certainly there for all of us. The AI factor.
Well, it's another set of eyes. I mean, it can be your consultant, it can be your teacher, it can be your coach, it can be your advertising consultant. I mean, Brian, this, I can take the transcript from this show and I can have AI analyze it, and it's going to tell us how the audience would have perceived how we all were. Yeah. And that's very impactful when you're thinking about, I want to create posts, like Chance said, that gets engagement. A lot of us don't think about that. So engagement unlocks more visibility for us, right? The more engagement we have, the more Facebook or YouTube goes, hey, this is pretty interesting. I'm going to allow more people to see this. And then they're going to allow more people to see it. The more people that engage, that's where you start to go viral. But for a lot of us, and I'm guilty of that too, I put out what I'm thinking, not necessarily thinking about, I need to be getting a certain type of response from this. I need to prompt people to get involved and pay attention. And, something you said, Paul, and I agree with you 100%. Just start posting, because something's better than nothing.
Something is better than nothing.
But
thanks for stressing me out, Lennon.
You got to look at this like.
And back to what your motto is, Lennon. It's be seen, be heard, and be remembered. And you can't do any of those three if you're not making the effort to do, post something or put it out there.
Another thing, Paul, that a lot of people, when I was teaching before, were afraid of is that somebody would criticize what they're putting out. Somebody's going to judge them. Well, guess what? They're already judging you.
You got to get past that. Man.
Again, I would recommend, just don't worry about what the negative people are going to say, because all you're focusing on is trying to find the positive ones anyway.
Right.
And I would say is the coaching that I've done, a lot of that, like Paul was talking about earlier, like just kind of admitting, like, I would be a little bit nervous about what I was going to say, like, oh, how are people going to perceive that? And I'd be in my head about, do I want to make this post or not? And now I'm kind of like, no, just that's how I'm feeling at the moment, and run with it. And, and I think a lot of people get hung up because you start thinking about, is this going to sound stupid or not, or what's happening? So I think now, like, getting used to posting more and just be more authentic, be more of yourself. And then you just, because you want people to know you. So don't try to be something you're not. Even if you're using AI, it's your idea that you're coming up with. It's just making you better.
Well, gosh, and you can make it up on the next post. I mean, those things,
Right.
I mean, as much as people post, I mean, you got a small window to capture somebody's attention, and then somebody else has something. And so it's just a constant barrage. But yeah, I mean, good to know about the AI on your post, Chance. So I
feel like I'm a cheater now, but I got to talk more because AI is rating what I'm saying right now. Now Lyndon's got me all stressed
you don't even have to pay your assistant.
Here's something AI isn't going to tell you. I just came up with this on the fly as you were talking about it. Your last name post, Just post it, baby. Just post it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right. Looks like Brian's getting taken out to lunch. He likes Portillo's.
Yeah, that's a slogan for free right there.
That's right.
Once you go viral with that, I'll expect a small commission. Just
that's right.
All right.
Lunch every Friday.
Yep. Hey, if I go viral, I'll do it. I'm all about that.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, we do have, I think, one more break that we need to take, and then we'll get into our rapid fire segment. Always a good time, and since we lost an A, we're gonna have to get Ellender involved as well. But,
oh God.
All right, Hunter, get ready. Get ready. Rapid fire on the way.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Giddy up. So right now we'll hit a break, and then we'll be right back and do that. Or maybe we won't. Ellender just rejoined us. No break. We'll just do rapid fire.
No, we'll go to break. Y'all want to go to break?
Yeah, do a quick break.
Sure.
All right, here we go.
The Community Difference is a new series of shows powered by the Difference Radio live stream and podcast network. This series of shows was designed to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. And we wanted to create a platform that brings awareness to and reminds folks of the goodness that lives within so many of us. By working with the local community leaders, business owners, first responders, veterans, schools, and citizens, we want to unite with a clear and selfless purpose. The Community Difference seeks to spotlight the people, events, and activities that are producing positive outcomes, inspirational stories, and incredible experiences. In a world that is consumed with negative press, media manipulation, and propaganda, The Difference, along with many others who believe and support The Difference, understands there is no better way to make the difference than to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. We are currently searching for local communities to be the focus of our shows, but before we can launch a show in your community, we need your help. We need you along with local business leaders, chambers of commerces, major nonprofits, online community group leaders, networking groups, etc. to join us in making the difference in helping your community be seen, be heard, and be remembered. So, if you would like to know how you, your business, school, social media community, church, or your favorite nonprofit organization can be a part of this unique and powerful program, reach out to us today and introduce yourself and let us know how you would like to contribute and bring awareness to the amazing people, places, and events that are making the difference in the community you love. You can call us at 972-866-4596 or email us at info@thedifferenceradio.com.
And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. And hey, we are growing this community difference concept across multiple communities. We just had Plano go yesterday. I was lucky enough to be a guest co-host on that show along with Nathan Smith. We had the mayor of Plano on that show, Mayor Munns, and had some good conversation around social media, the same topic we're talking about. A little bit different spin on that one because they're not necessarily building a brand per se. They're known as a city of excellence. So they have that, I guess, as its slogan. But their main goal with social media is really as a communication vehicle, right? So in the event that they need to get information disseminated to the city of Plano quickly, they utilize social media for that purpose. So slightly different spin on it, but there's also a brand component to it as well. And they have some folks that curate some messages. Unlike our show, we are not curated. We are live. So we can cut to commercial break whenever we want. We screw up whenever we want, often and early, usually. So, that's if you're interested in pulling together a community difference show in your community, reach out to any of us here on the show, Chance, Paul, myself, or Ellender, and we can help make that happen. But we are entering the rapid fire zone. So, guys, get ready. There it is, rapid fire. We probably need to come up with a sounder. Rapid fire.
Well, I was going to do one, a machine gun.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
You have to do it like you and your hat and then a machine gun. So maybe it's animated.
Yeah, we're in Texas. We can make that happen. That's all right.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Guns here.
Well, what did I just say? I said, don't worry about who's going to criticize you. So
just post it, baby. Just post it.
Post it. Take a chance and post it.
Oh, there it is.
All right. Question 1, guys. What is your favorite thing to do for entertainment or a fun time in Frisco, Texas?
Oh, God.
And I'm going to go in order, reverse. I'm going to go Lennon. We'll go to my left, reverse clockwise.
Haven't done it yet, so I'm going to say Frisco Fighters. I think that's going to be a blast and a ball. No pun intended. I love football. Being right there on top of it, I think it's going to be like football, like hockey. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a shout out.
All right.
Paul, what about you?
Man, I'm going to have to go with the PGA. That's a pretty fantastic facility they built out there. And, man, you know, the fact that Frisco made it open to the public, that's pretty awesome. But, yeah, it's amazing out there. So good food and good stuff to do.
You stole mine, man. That was on my list. I'll come up with another one because there's plenty. But, yeah, that dance floor up there, you ever putt around in the dance floor?
I haven't been to the dance floor. I've been on all the other dance floors as far as like the putting green. So, but no, it's such an amazing facility. And there's, you know, you're not going to see, it's kind of like going to the Smithsonian. You're not going to see everything the first day.
Yeah. Good analogy. I like it. Chance, what do you got?
My favorite spot is Wade Park, that big hole in the ground where you can look over the fence and there's nothing there. It's been $1 billion.
So you're an expert swimmer now, huh?
I like that. I want to get in there and see what's going on.
The $1 billion pool. Yeah, that's.
Now, I mean, I'd say honestly, like that. I do. You know, I've been a sponsor of the Legends for a long time, and I finally went to a couple games with my kids, and they really had a ball. And so it's, it's like $7 for a ticket. So it's not like trying to go to the Cowboys game. So, you know, for the money, it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, good call. Well, that was my second one. So
I'm messing. I knew you were going to go there.
I'm going to have to go deeper on my list now. Hunter, what do you got?
Gosh, yeah, some great ones have been listed. You know, the Frisco Fighters; those games are electric. And he hit it spot on. It's like hockey combined with football. It's great. The Texas Legends games are also a lot of fun. But again, I'm from a small town, you know, type of place where you wear a polo to Chili's. And so down here, since I've moved, I've done a lot of, you know, going and finding new restaurants, new types of food. There is everything down here. And then Grandscape, I know it's, you know, down the road from Frisco, but Grandscape's also a great place to go and hang out. But my friends and I do try to frequent Frisco as much as we can and find new spots to go and hang out at.
That's a good one.
Yep. And one of those I'll mention is the Star, right? There's a lot of new cool stuff to do over at the Star. If you haven't been, Sidecar Social just opened about 2 months ago. I've been over there now 3 times, and I love that place. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
One other one I'll throw out there as the weather warms up, downtown Frisco. They have live music on Saturdays, Saturday mornings. I'm going to have to look it up, but it's something like 11 to 1 up and down Main Street in downtown Frisco. Live bands playing. Just walk up and down. You can go to the stores. You can go to some of the shops. You can go, check out the NAC Theater down there. You can check out Maker's Gym. You can grab some coffee right there. It's awesome. They do it for several weeks throughout what I'll call the nice weather, right? So spring into summertime. So check that out as the weather warms up.
I keep hearing about that Sidecar Social, and great. Looks like it's pretty big. Great place for networking, possibly networking groups, and maybe doing in person.
Yeah,
maybe we do something.
They got one down in Addison.
Yeah,
and I'll give y'all. I don't. Have any of y'all been? Because the one in Addison, when you go in to the restroom, right? So you go into the restroom where the sinks, where the lavatories are, they have mirrors, but between the mirrors you can see in to the girls' side.
Yeah.
Now it's just the lavatories. So my first time, I didn't know this, right? So I go in, I do my business, I come out, I'm washing my hands, I look up, there's a girl standing there, and I'm freaking out because I think I went into the wrong place. And she knew, so she's loving it because she could see the panic on my face. I'm like,
how did I miss it?
Right.
The one in Frisco has that as well, and it freaked the living bejesus out of me when I same thing happened to me. So they might have a camera there just looking for people's reactions because it's pretty wild because it looks like it's a mirror, but then all of a sudden you see somebody of the opposite sex on the other side, and you're like, wait a minute, whoa,
wait a second.
Yeah.
That's when you check the urinals to make sure you're in the right spot.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Oh, I'm about to get in trouble.
Well, what's that? There's another one. It's a Tex-Mex or Mexican restaurant. So when you go in, obviously it's the man on the door outside, but once you get in there, as you're coming out, there's a woman. So you think that you've walked into the female.
Oh, they did that on purpose.
That might be the new trend, to make
All right, Hunter, you got some homework to do. Your job is to take your buddies in the sidecar social over there and report back to us.
And see how terrified they get.
Yeah, report back.
Yeah. Don't get stuck shooting free throws, because they have four free throw shooting goals. They've got golden tee. They've got darts. They've got lounge area, like you were talking about, Chance. Good place for business meetings.
Yeah, it is.
They've
That's
got
awesome.
outdoor fireplaces, all kinds of cool stuff. But all right, so next question. We just talked about a lot of the stuff that Frisco has. Frisco certainly does have a ton of stuff. What does Frisco not have that you want to see in Frisco? And we're going to put our guests on the spot, on the hot seat. We're going to go reverse order here. What do you want to see in Frisco that isn't there right now, Hunter?
Man, that's tough. With the PGA spot opening and all the other nice golf courses that Frisco has to offer, that's usually, my go-to. I wouldn't mind, a large concert venue to go see. Don't get me wrong, I love a good small show more than just about anyone else. But a big concert venue would be really cool to attract some other names to get through town.
Good call. I like that. And I think there is the plans have been laid, and they've been kind of stagnant for several years, but off of the tollway and Warren, just I guess north between Warren and Lebanon, there's a big music venue. I don't know if it's going to be huge, but it's going to be live entertainment venue going up over there. So
yeah. So Fayetteville, Arkansas, they've got the Waltons put in a big, they call it AMP. It's an amphitheater, and they have major concerts up there, and it's just so cool because, I know it gets hot here in the summer, but if anybody's ever been to the old Starplex, I mean, you can bear it with enough beer. And
an amphitheater.
I appreciate the fact you call it the Starplex, because I don't know what it's called now, but I just call it.
I worked
Starplex.
security that when I first moved here, I worked security down there as a side hustle.
Yeah.
All right, Chance, what's Frisco missing?
I mean, you know what I'm going to say, don't you?
A cement hole in the ground.
Parking.
No.
Fair.
But I would. But I would mention, I do know the guy that was developing that music, Rick Fletcher. So we need to get him on the show because he'd
love to hear an update on that.
He told me the other day that they'd stopped because of where business was at. They'd stopped promoting it, and now they're actively getting that going again.
Yeah,
they got some new investors or something, so it's going to get going.
Good, Paul. What do you got?
Well, you know me, because I mentioned this when we did our show with Jason Young talking about downtown Frisco, and I know it's in the works, but to me, a city like Frisco that's got it's Sports City USA, and we've got everything except like a walkable downtown area. I mean, that's not chopped up with an abandoned building over here, and like a Main Street USA. That's my pick.
Well, good things come to those who wait. So
that's right.
Wait a little bit
longer.
longer.
I know those guys are working on it.
Indeed, they are. Lennon, what do you got?
Well, given and I've got to give a big shout out to Boot Barn for taking care of my grandson the other day, but he's on a rodeo kick right now. And so I think bringing a rodeo, a big name rodeo to Frisco would fit right into, and they've got plenty of places to do it. I mean, they could do it at the soccer place. They could do it even indoors at the Star.
Comerica, baby.
They could do it at Comerica. There's plenty of places to do it. And I think that, I think Frisco would enjoy that.
Yeah, that's a good call.
That would be great.
It's a good call. Well, mine. It's Chicago style pizza that we just don't have any here. So we're gonna eventually get that going. Hey guys, this time has flown. We've got like 2 minutes till we got to jump off. So what I want to do is wrap up the show. Great discussion today on social media, its impact and how you can utilize it and utilize that along with AI technology to really not make it as difficult as we tend to make it in our heads, right? So great discussion on that. Hunter, thanks for joining us today. Great meeting you.
Absolutely.
And Sinead,
thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate your insight and your story as well. Sinead, was great to have her on. Sorry she had to leave early, but it was great to get her out there as well. Let's go around the horn real quick. Just tell us your name, what you do, and how to get a hold of you, and then we'll wrap it. So, Hunter, let's start with you.
Again, my name's Hunter Ellender with American National Bank and Trust. I don't give out an office number. I don't think there's any good that does. So you can always contact me through my cell phone number. It's 940-902-0352, or by email, huntere@amnat.com. And, we have, if you call, I'll answer, unless it's, after 7 p.m. on a Saturday.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. Chance, what's up, man?
Hey, Chance Post at Total Care, c.post at totalcare.us.
Thank you, sir. Paul?
Paul Fisher with Certainty Home Lending, and you can just go to loansbyfisher.com and you'll get everything you need to know.
Thank you, sir. And Lyndon, let's promote The Difference. You're up.
All right. So Lyndon Wilson, the creator of The Difference, you can reach us at 972-866-4596 or info@thedifferenceradio.com.
Awesome. And I am your host, Brian Poduska, Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments. Check us out at www.realpmfocus.com. And with that, guys, it's a wrap. Thanks again for being on the show. Until next week, same topic. We'll have different co-hosts and have some fun with that as well. Till then, have a great weekend. Later.
See you.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Frisco is made possible by Brian Poduska, owner of Real Property Management Focus, Paul Fisher, loan officer with Certainty Home Lending, Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers, Kendra Kennedy with Stewart Title, Ethan Donovan with Donovan Creative Agency, Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Chance Post with Total Care ER and Total Care Networking, Matt England, Director of Corporate Partnerships, and Andre Coles, head coach of the Frisco Fighters Arena football team.